Your number one hype gal here, and welcome to the weekly warm-up, your weekly dose to feel a little more confident and a lot more human. I'm Jess McDowell, and each week I'll share life updates, mindset shifts, product faves, the little things that help me stay grounded, energized, and moving and grooving. Whether you're heading out for a jog, sipping your morning coffee, or just need a midweek pick-me-up, this is your warm-up for living a real balanced life. So take a breath, shake it out, and let's dive in.
Are we here? Mic check 1 2 1 2. We're rocking and rolling. We're moving and grooving. Welcome back to the Weekly Warm Up Podcast. This is episode 14. I probably should just stop saying the episode. But, anyways, I am your host. And today it is you and I, me and you, because I need to have a solo episode and yippity yap, 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 give the people what they've been asking for, because I have had a handful of people say, when are you going to do a solo episode? And now is the time. Can anyone hear my dog licking his paws in the background after I just mopped? He is just raw dogging on his paw. And I can see the mess that he's making on this freshly cleaned tile floor. And it just makes me want to say dog for sale. Anywho, hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with just us, y'all. We've got a jam-packed episode. I actually have quite a bit of things I want to discuss today. So let's dive in. First and foremost, I want to say that I am overjoyed, heart full, bursting energy through the roof, happy about the guests that I've had on this podcast thus far. I am so thankful for their time. I'm so thankful for their knowledge, their wisdom, their energy. And I have had just such a wide range of guests come on and friends come on that make such a big impact in this world and within the health, fitness, wellness, beauty, self-care, mental health, nutrition, you name it, industry. I really hope that y'all have enjoyed each and every guest and episode as much as I have. From episode 1 until now, I will have to say that we are doing fantastic. We're doing fantastic. And I'll leave it at that. Topic 1 today that I want to kind of just talk on is, when was the last time you did a check-in on yourself? When was the last time I did a check-in on myself? And I'm doing pretty good. I've had some ups and downs, some highs and lows, some challenges and obstacles that I've faced in the past several weeks. The Celsius is kicking in. Several weeks since I have done a solo episode. Gosh, it's been since my mom, I believe, right? Or right after my mom. I would say my biggest obstacle that I have faced is just the challenge of not always being understood by certain people in this world. No matter how much support you have and the people that are rooting for you and cheering for you, at the end of the day, whatever goals and dreams that you have to make for yourself, and no one else is going to do that. And with that comes people that will try to get in your way or try to dim your light. And that is something that I've really just been working hard on overcoming, is not changing because one or two people think I should, and remaining humble. And it's not even being humble, it's remaining true to who I am and my values and my goals. And that is all that matters. So I will say that my mental health has definitely gone up and down in the past, let's say 6 weeks since there's been a solo episode, a little bit longer. But when I'm going through things that I'm struggling with, I am not always the best at reaching out, not because I feel that I'm better than that or that I'm embarrassed. I think about how busy we all are, because I'm extremely busy and all over the place, that I don't want to burden the people that I trust most with things that sometimes I don't think are big issues, though they are. I'm really good at talking to my mom. My mom is my best friend, my girl, my gal, my mommy, my Care Bear. But There are some times where you don't need your mom, you need your besties. And instead of me going to them, I will just kind of keep it to myself and work through it and say, you're strong, you're capable, you're healthy, you're worthy, get out there, move and groove, get it done. You're going to overcome this. Fuck the haters. You are going to achieve everything that you want and more in your life. But with that comes you suppressing things, and then it will randomly come out when you're watching the final episode of season 2 of Shrinking. By the way, that is now on the list of things that we need to talk about. Where's my pen? I need to make a mental note, BRB. But it will come out at the most random times when you're finishing a solid yoga session and you're in Shavasana. You've got the cold cloth over your head. You're listening to some really good calming Zen sound bath or music, and you just start to cry. You're literally on a run and something hits you, or you're listening to a song in the car. You know it. And for me, I need to get better at that. That was really all over the place, by the way. Sorry. Yeah, I need to get better at it. I need to get better at asking for help. I need to get better at saying, you know what, I'm struggling. I'm not doing okay. Other than that, things have been great. They've been great. I have been so damn busy in all the best ways possible. You look back, and when you're exhausted, you remind yourself how badly you wanted all this. And you take a step back and realize that you're just tired in the moment. Once you get that 8 hours sleep, once you get that 10 hours sleep, you'll be fine. You are. I am. I tend to really get anxiety and feel overwhelmed when I don't have enough sleep. When I'm starting to hit that brink of exhaustion is when I start to think that I'm putting too much on my plate, or that I'm overwhelmed, or maybe I can't handle this. And the second I get that sleep in, I'm back in action, boom, baby, like nothing ever happened. Things are going great, and they're only going up from here. I've been hosting such amazing wellness events. My run club with Fabletics has just been such a beautiful gift and opportunity, which is an extension of the wellness events that I've been hosting. I, like I said, have just met and been around some really inspiring and beautiful people. I'm surrounding myself with good energy as much as I can. I've had such amazing partnerships lately and opportunities when it comes to influencing and when it comes to growing with the podcast. I hired a social media intern, which is even cooler. She was just on last week's episode, Gracie, which has just been such a fun learning experience for myself as well, having someone on as a team member of mine. But also, I always want to consider the people I work with peers too. And I'm learning from her and she's learning from me. I hope so. She is. That's been really beautiful. When I started this, I was saying, when was the last time you did a check in on yourself? And basically, I just did a word vomit, Celsius hit the brain, check in on me by venting into a screen to y'all, or on the mic to y'all. And honestly, I don't hate that. I feel great now. So thank you for listening to me. But when was the last time you checked in on yourself? When was the last time you sat down in silence or somewhere that you feel safe and comfortable and checked in on yourself, truly? Because I think that sometimes we think we're checking in on ourselves, but we're not. I just gave prime examples of me thinking that I'm checking in myself, or how I don't do it properly when I'm going through things. And it makes me think about how, certain things that have gone on in my life the past 7 to 8 weeks, like I said, since I've done a solo episode, where there were weeks where I was struggling hardcore. And then I think about who else around me is struggling just as much at something. It's so important to be able to do a mental check in and it be something where you realize, allow whatever emotions you're feeling to set, whether it's something you want to admit or not. And then from there, making that decision of how you're going to get yourself out of it, or how you're going to get yourself feeling motivated again, how you're going to get yourself feeling happy again, centered, organized, whatever it may be. But I find that when we don't allow ourselves to sit in that silence and admit to ourselves that there's something going on potentially, that's the tough part right there. You know, suppressing it's easy, pretending like it's not happening is easy. Once you've gone over that hump of accepting it, and whether it's talking about it, releasing it, however you do, it gets better. So check in on yourself. If you need somebody, reach out to me. I got you. A really great way to do that, honestly, by you doing something that you actually genuinely love to do. For instance, I love running. I love working out. I do love my solo time. I love being outside, getting that vitamin D. I plan it to where I'm going to go do something I love, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to check in on myself. Or when I'm done, I'm going to check in on myself. It is almost like you're rewarding yourself to force yourself to do it. Take the time and effort. You will be a better person for it. And you might learn a couple things along the way as well. I will admit that I have social anxiety and I'm getting better at it. That was one thing that I made a point within the last month or so, is that I am no longer going to let my social anxiety or my busy schedule be the excuse as to why I'm not living my life to the fullest. Attending other wellness events or fitness events. It's easy when you're showing up for your people. It's easy when you're showing up for people you want to support. But when it's outside of that, it's easy to talk yourself out of it, especially, like I said, if it is not showing up for your people or community, if it's not an event you're hosting, so it's not work related and it's not somebody that you want to support and care about. You can talk yourself out of it, regardless if you purchase something to do and talk yourself out of it, or if it's just going to do something in general. As much as I am outgoing and an extrovert, I am also very much introverted when it comes to who I am and who I want to expend my energy to, because I have been burned by lots of people. And that's normal in life. We're all going to have that happen. And if you are sitting there saying that has not happened to me, that's a huge red flag. That's a very big red flag. And we're not going to dive into that, but talk to somebody about that, because you might be the problem. But, anyways, find that sometimes when I have gone out and been social in certain settings of events or being involved in the community, that it ends up emotionally draining me more, because I find that people will take from that instead of contribute and it be a give take situation, or it could potentially be for a personal gain or whatever it may be. I also find that having social anxiety is quite normal in our generation, because of the fact that we are very much glued and reliant on our screens and our social media and hiding behind screens. We can also basically do anything we want from our own home when it comes to activities and streaming and the endless availability of things that we can do. So we talk ourselves out of human connection. And that's not good, because we really do need the human connection. And that doesn't mean that you need it with bunch of people and you're overstimulated and then it doesn't work and it actually backfires. And now you're emotionally exhausted from too much stimulation, but simply just interacting with people on your day to day. For me personally, what I have done and what I've gotten better at is, when I go work out or when I am in a setting where there are people around me, I make it a point to start talking to people. I make it a point to introduce myself. I make it a point to interact with them and show them that I am also interested in what they have to say and interested in them introducing themselves to me and learning about another person or learning about something. And it really has made me feel a lot better. And I'm also feeling satisfied when it comes to human engagement and being around people. I'm also very thankful that in my career and the multiple different roles that I play, I am very socially active. But at the same time, like I said, you can't make the excuse of, I'm socially active because that's part of my career and that's part of my roles, because I'm putting on my armor of this is business. So I am a different person versus when I'm going out and introducing myself as just me versus business me. And we have to separate those two. My biggest advice to you is that majority of the people that you are surrounding yourself with or that you're walking by on a day-to-day basis is struggling with some sort of social anxiety. And you are not alone. We are craving human interaction more than you know. And it's getting yourself into the setting that will allow you to be your most vulnerable and open self without feeling overwhelmed or overstimulated. So, for example, if you like more intimate gatherings or intimate situations, don't go to something that has hundreds of people and you're just going to bury yourself in a hole. Go somewhere where it's more intimate. So that way you're more inclined to start a conversation, or you're more inclined to want to introduce yourself or be open, inviting. You have your facial, you're not going to feel like your facial features and your body language isn't inviting. You are looking like someone could approach you. If you are struggling with social anxiety where you're only doing the same things because you're afraid to get outside of the box, then I would do baby steps by, let's say, if why don't you do this? Sign up for my run club. I mean, I'm going to plug. Why not? Come to one of my wellness events, come to one of my run clubs and do something different. If that's an area that you are struggling with, that you are going to only certain types of activities or you are only surrounding yourself with certain types of people, get outside the box a little bit. If this is something where the worst that can happen is that it really doesn't go exactly your way, and you can't beat yourself up about that. It is what it is. I've gone to certain places and things thinking, okay, I'm going to go outside the box a bit. I'm going to put myself out there, and there might not always be that same reception back and forth, and that's fine. It's not you. It's not a you problem. You should be proud of yourself for even showing up and getting yourself there. Don't ever let someone else's behavior or perception of you steer you away from getting outside of your comfort zone. I keep going back and forth on a couple topics that I want to talk about next. And I think we're going to talk about women in sports and the roles they have in play. I was recently listening to a few different podcasts. And because Alex Morgan has been honored with her jersey being retired and how she has just made such a huge impact in not only women's soccer, but women's sports. I'm a big soccer fan, and Alex Morgan is someone I do look up to. I also love Kay Adams, who has really just broken barriers down for women in broadcasting. But I wanted to talk about just women in sports in general. And I use Alex Morgan as an example because she's at the top of my list. And like I said recently, she has received some accolades for her career, which is well deserved. But something that I think is wild when I've been listening to some of these podcasts and listening to interviews that she has recently done, and she's talked about how she dealt with being a mother and the backlash of becoming pregnant while she was going through what potentially could be like the peak of her career. Though I'm not a mom and I cannot relate to that at all, and I'm not trying to, as a woman, I couldn't imagine. And I think about it too, just in my career, but obviously we're on different levels. But I just think about how women have this ticking time bomb for everything. Literally everything in life that we do, we are constantly met. It's a roadblock of sacrifices, is what it is. And instead of it looking like a open door to opportunity and an open door to show how multifaceted we are, as women and human beings, we instead are given choices and we are given ultimatums and we are given A or B, and that is it. And the fact that this woman and multiple others in sports have had to sit hard and think about with their family or maybe their agents or someone they confide in and say, do I want to continue my career or do I want to have a kid? Is bonkers to me, is absolutely insane. I can't imagine how someone would feel about the idea of them deciding to start a family and people getting mad for that. There's really no other way to say it or really other way to go around it. So you're saying that a woman just can't get pregnant, decide to have a family and come back and be better than ever? Or that we can't honor the idea that a woman has a contract and wants to get pregnant and have a kid and can still honor that contract? Or that it could potentially put the team in a bad place because this person wants to continue to live and foster and grow a family. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I hate that for her and I hate that for women athletes. I pray that one day that won't have to even be a topic of conversation, that it just happens and we move on. Another one that I thought was crazy was obviously the limited contract gross. These women will sign their lives away, basically be working what would be 80 hours or more a week at what is called their full-time job, is getting paid a salary of somebody that would probably be a couple years out of college. They are told that the money that they'll earn aside from what their 80-hour week full-time job would be, so that's sport, where they're showing up, they're doing practices, they're having to play games, they're having to be on their A game. But the money that they're actually gonna make to be able to take care of themselves is gonna come through endorsements or brand deals. That to me is bonkers. And I think that that is a big stigma in general. I'm going to say in the United States, I'm not going to speak for other countries, women and working and how they're properly compensated versus men being compensated in any type of working field. If a woman has multiple jobs, it's normal, or multiple careers, but also wants to make multiple streams of income, but then also is kind of looked down on that she's wanting to do that. Whereas if a man is working and say has to make do two or whatever jobs, no, he can't do that. Like it's one job. He deserves to do that one job and puts all his heart and soul into it. And he deserves to get paid what he deserves to get paid. And if he is making multiple streams of income, he is considered a massive business entrepreneur and successful. It really just shows you how much we have not progressed when it comes to not only women in sports, but women in the work field, women as entrepreneurs, women striving to be all the things. And let me tell you something, we do it better than anybody else. What I see today is a bunch of women coming together, busting their asses off, having a family, being a kick ass wife, being the perfect mother, an entrepreneur where they're extending themselves to their team and offering themselves to people that want to learn and look up to them, being a family member, they're being a friend, they're taking care of themselves. It is truly beautiful to see. And what honestly keeps me striving to go to the top no matter what, from how much women are just really coming together and really showing the true power that we have. Let's just take over this place. I mean, it's not hard. Like, it's hard, right? This topic is what blew my mind, how they are expected to act on and off the field. Alex was talking about how there was one time and she scored a goal. She did a little, shoddy celebration, sip the tea, and it became this whole media storm of just how disrespectful she was, how she was basically making fun of the fact that tea in England, describing her as disrespectful. To me, I think is absolutely bonkers. It's just a way for the media to really get coverage. And then I do believe that potentially some people in London got upset about it. Who knows? Truly, what I think it was is that women, again, in sports are supposed to act like ladies. And if they win or if they score, get a point, whatever it may be, they are to sit and look pretty and smile. If a male is celebrating, it's macho. It's good for him. It's he's a beast. He's a goat. That's so cool. We're copying it. We're making videos of it. We're making memes of it. We're tweeting about it. We're reposting it. We're sharing it. We're doing it. But if a woman does it, it's tacky, it's classless, it's masculine, it's a cultural issue. That blows my mind. I didn't realize that the whole her sipping a tea is one thing, or sipping tea was one thing because that was a media frenzy and honestly was blown out of proportion. And like I said, the media will do that because they get bored and they have nothing else to talk about. And they truly should maybe take the time to focus on the actual sport that the women are playing and maybe idolize them. But instead, they do the opposite. That's for another day. But the fact that this is something that's actually bigger than that they will actually be talked to how they act or when they celebrate their wins, that is not appropriate, by drinking champagne, by smoking a cigar, winning a World Cup or winning an Olympic gold medal. I don't give a shit, even winning a game. But then here we are watching these men look like fools when they celebrate. We got grown ass men doing the chicken dance when they run into the freaking end zone playing football. And you're telling me that that's cute? You're telling me that that's acceptable? We got grown ass men throwing punches at each other because they get pissed because they couldn't put a black puck into a baby goal on an ice rink. Let's be real here. Let's be real. I hope that more women start to celebrate. I hope that more people start to mimic the celebrations. I hope that we are making memes. I hope that we are chanting them, reposting them, and sharing them. I sure as hell will. No one should ever be looked at like they are not professional because they celebrate something that they are a 1% in, or in general, period. I will admit that the first half of this episode, I have been coming on it. That's what she said. Oh, that's probably going to have to be a clip. I will not be able to put that in the podcast. I really want to. Oh, I have to recover from that. I will admit that the first half of this episode, I have definitely come. Stop saying that. Are you done? You need to get your itchy shot. I feel like I just came back from a blackout because the first half of this episode, I was giving the people what they needed to hear. And I guarantee you liked it, right? Right? I was. And now we're going to kind of calm it down a little bit. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to chat about some things. Well, I lied. There's going to be one thing I do want to talk about, but that will be at the end. But right now, I am going to talk about some dating ah, dating situations, making time for it, stuff that's been going on. So, long story short, met a guy in Raya and we've been going on a couple dates. There's no, we can't call it serious or anything right now because it's too soon to say any of that. But definitely vibing, enjoying each other's company. You know, there's potential. I would say that he does check some great boxes for once in a very, 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 very long time. He's checking boxes. And I am actually wanting to spend my free time with him, which is rare. But the funniest thing about it was I was texting one of my best friends when I started to be like, okay, wait, I actually kind of like the guy. This is good. Dates are going good. Conversations going good. He's 38, really good job. Good stuff. Good stuff. We've got things in common. He's good looking, smart, big gentleman, Southern, like we like it, right? And of course, I was telling my best friend about it, and she said to me right away, I think I should go read the text message. It was basically, I hope you don't get sick of him and basically just end it or ghost him because the fact that he's nice and he's good and he's very communicative and XYZ. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. So when situations like this happen, what I'll do is it's not a self sabotage situation. It's more or less I will figure out a reason why I don't want to like the person. So maybe self sabotage, sure. I will say that I have not gotten sick of him, but that I almost self sabotaged it yesterday. Luckily, we're actually going to have a phone call this evening and chat, but I recovered. I'm proud of myself for saying, hey, you're right. I was out of line and I apologize. One thing about me is, as much as I love talking about dating, I don't also love talking about dating. And the reason why is because people listen to this podcast. I mean, if he listens to it, I'm sorry, that's your fault. But I think that's it. And then also, I don't know. I really don't know what the stigma is. Maybe it's because I realize sometimes that I'm the nutbag, or not the nutbag, but it's my fault. Or when you're talking, you start to realize that in my head, I'm realizing why this other person may feel this way or XYZ. I don't know. Long story short, he works in sports. Amazing. Cool. Yay. But the thing about it is because we have such busy schedules and our schedules don't always align, right now is where you really show the effort of making time for somebody that you want to. And I haven't wanted to do that or even had the desire to do that for anybody in a hot minute until now. And because I want to make time for this person, I am having to myself compromise, which is good compromising, take the time and effort to make plans and follow through with the plans. It is definitely something that I am working towards, and it's definitely something that I'm getting better at simply because my career and the things that I'm involved with and all the different avenues that I'm, going towards right now is extremely important in my life. But I also sometimes have to take a step back and say, yes, I want to get married one day. And yes, I want to have a family one day. And yes, I want to be able to do all the things like I was just talking up the women that I was, discussing in the previous topics. That's not going to happen unless I allow myself to have that happen. That means that if there's a person, ooh, hello, did I just go up an octave? If there's a person that's wanting to extend their time and energy towards me and I'm liking that, and who is understanding of the world that I'm living in right now and thinks it's incredibly, attractive, and he loves that I'm independent and that I have these things going for me, then I too need to take the time and effort to adjust my schedule or to compromise when I need to. And I will admit that this has been not a learning curve, but it's been something that is new to me in this stage of my life. And I think about all the people that are busy and have lots of things going on and how they do it. And I'm asking advice. I'm thinking of ways that we can continue to hang out and do things and it stay fun and exciting, but also not move too fast because I'm not trying to go down that road of moving too fast with somebody and spending all your time or all your free time with a person. Not that we could like even possibly do that because we're busy. Like, how many times am I going to say busy? We get it, but our schedules don't align to be able to do that. But there would be a time where if we were to say, hey, I want to get serious with you, would we go to one person's place to the other, things like that? And I'm not trying to rush into that where we're spending our evenings together all the time. Also, we are both in a stage of life where we want to start to eventually think about marriage and have a family. My mom has always said to me that I'm probably going to find somebody where you just know right away and then it happens. And I'm not saying that's him, but I think I'm scared. And I think I'm realizing that there's going to have to be some sort of adjustment. And for an X period of amount of time, it's been me and my dog. this nugget over here. Though I've had to compromise in other areas, I have not had to compromise for another person in a relationship in a hot minute. If I truly want that, I'm going to have to do it. I'm scared and I'm admitting it. I'm scared. I'm a little nervous. I'm still being a little selfish. I'm still being cautious. I think that is another reason why I'm not really wanting to fully expose it all and talk about certain situations and stuff is because of that reason. I will say one thing though is that he's really good at communication and I love that and it's amazing. One thing for me, communication is key. I will never understand or go for a person that tries to play the communication game. If you are in 2025 and you're working, or you are in 2025 in general and you are a human being, you have your phone on you at some point during the day. And I understand that sometimes if you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody, taking the time to respond, it might not be at the right time. Everyone has their phone on them and they can respond. There is one thing that I cannot stand, and that is a person that purposely doesn't answer to think that that is some sort of power or gain. And with him, it's the opposite. And I love that. We don't have to answer right away, and we can go a day, we can go hours without answering, but we know we're not doing it on purpose. It's because, hey, I got caught up, or I'm busy, or I had things going on and I wanted to make sure I took time to answer. I remember when we first started texting, I loved that when I was being apologetic, because again, I'm in my own world right now. I wouldn't respond right away. And not because I was trying to not respond, I would genuinely forget because I get caught up doing things and then remember how rude of me, I need to answer. One of the first things he said back to me, don't ever apologize for doing what you love to do, or and doing you and all the things that you have going on. That right there was just so refreshing. I haven't heard that in a long time. I haven't been around a person that isn't selfish towards themselves or is expecting somebody to compromise everything for them or drop everything for them. I think that's where I really took a liking, the person and how they act and the maturity level. That is where I am also trying to ensure that I do the right thing by not messing it up. So I'll leave it at that. It's exciting. We'll see. Who knows? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. The power of rest. I want to say this because earlier in the episode, I was talking about how I know when I am tired and starting to have a bit of a burnout, when I feel overwhelmed, or that things that I'm taking on I can't handle because I know I can. And that means, girl, you have anxiety, you need to sleep. Once you get that sleep in, you're going to feel better. And every time I do. And the next day when I wake up, back in action. And so I really wanted to talk about just the power of rest, writing down, why recovery days are just as important. And with something I wrote down was a reminder that wellness is in all action, highlight the value of rest, sleep, and slowing down, especially for runners, but those in general. Gosh, the power of recovery. It doesn't have to be acupuncture, massages, facials, the compression boots, the sports performance things that I do and I share about, the simplicity of recovery, but we make it into this bigger thing than it is. Recovery could just be lounging all day, going on a walk with your animal or your dog or whatever it be, or just going outside on your own. Recovery could be taking a bath, going to a movie, or going shopping, doing something that isn't high activity. Recovery could be reading a book, journaling, laying out by the pool. Such a simple act. The idea in our mind of slowing down or not doing something as far as a physical activity goes, or a work project, task, to do list of some sort is difficult because we have been instilled into our head, into our mind, into our bodies that if we slow down, that we are lazy. If we slow down, we are not proactive, we are not productive, we are not going to be successful, we are not motivated. Unfortunately, that is why our world today is the least original that has ever been. And it's because we burn ourselves out. We're constantly going and looking at the same thing. We're digesting the same things, and we have overconsumption with consumerism and capitalism, and constantly doing fast fashion and all these things that no one is truly being original anymore because we're not giving ourselves the recovery to regroup and come back to who we are as an individual, to have that originality, to be your unique self, have your to have your full, we're going to try this one more time, to have your full potential. See, my brain was moving too fast for my mouth. The word recovery is the simplest but most difficult word. I want to challenge you to recovery, the simplest form of shutting off, shutting down, recharging your body, becoming more motivated and creative in whatever field it is that you're in. If you're struggling to allow yourself the time to allocate to recovery, let me tell you this. Once you do it, you're going to feel the results and you're going to understand why you have to do it. Take it from somebody that is a wellness, active, fitness, running, always on the go, wanting to do this more and more and more. The rest of the recovery that I have allowed myself has been monumental. Do strongly suggest that it is a full 24 hours. If you decide not to do a workout that day, if you decide not to do an activity that day, if you decide not to exercise that day, that's great. That's the first step. That's amazing. That's not your full recovery. Your recovery is also not working. Whatever it may be that you're extending the most energy to, or the top three things you're extending the most energy to, you have to let go of all those three to do the recovery. Because if you half ass it, it's not going to work. I'm not going to tell you how you do it because everybody's situation and circumstances are different, but I challenge you to recovery. We are almost done with episode 14. I want to end the episode on a good note, but also by saying that someone that has struggled from mental health majority of my life through various reasons and circumstances with trauma, that is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I would consider myself an advocate about, or advocate for, that if you are going through something in your life that is so deep and tremendous that you feel as if you want to hurt yourself or hurt others, ask for help. You're not going to get in trouble to ask for help. If you feel that someone around you struggling where they might hurt themselves or hurt somebody else or hurt others, tell somebody and take it seriously. Our country and our resources are failing us because we do not take certain situations seriously. When there are mass situations going on where people are losing their lives, there is always a sign. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, there were signs that people noticed prior to it happening and no one did anything about it. Lives and families of all ages, all shapes and sizes, all colors, all ethnicities could have been saved if people spoke up and the right people took the right action when it was brought up and when it was spoken about. And I want you to know that you are never alone, that there is always someone you can talk to and say something. Because if you don't, you never know what could happen. You could not only save a life, you could save a family, you could save a village. That's kind of where I want to leave it at. I don't want to go into it too much more than that. I pray our country starts to take the time and energy that it needs with the resources and the funding that we truly do have towards mental health. I pray for all the families that have lost loved ones because of careless, horrible, evil acts of violence that could have been prevented. It's a part of the episode where we are going to do products I'm digging this week because we haven't done it in a hot minute. Though I want to do it every episode, sometimes it just doesn't make sense to do it when I have guests on and the episode just wraps really well as it is. But because we are on our solo episode, I will refuse to end it without doing products of the week. I've been on a big Medicube deep dark hole lately and essentially have just been buying all their products. I am on my second order of the PDRN pink collagen gel masks. These are absolutely insane. I love them. They're really great, actually. I just got in this Age R, which is glutathione glow capsule cream. I am digging their capsule cream. Oh my gosh. That just dropped all over my leg. I think I can save it. We're just gonna, oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, I saved it. We'll just rub some of that on my leg. Well, that's cute because I dropped it on the floor. So this is their new capsule cream that I'm digging, and it's got glutathione and collagen peptide in it, which everything else it's just seeping everywhere. I'm gonna just put on my body and on my face after I wash it. Anyways, loving their capsule creams where it's like the little beads of the serum or the product, and then with this gel type surround, I don't know what you want to call it, gel base. It's not sticky. It goes on so smooth. It's hydrating. I'm obsessed. I think I have definitely started to see a difference. Honestly, I'm here for it. Truly, it's affordable. So, those that are balling on a budget, get it. I have bought every type of skincare there is, from the most expensive to the cheapest. I will say that Medicube is very reasonably priced. It is definitely within the competitive pricing range and has really good quality to it. At least for me, I'm trying to get all their PDRN products. So their PDRN pink collagen exosome shot. I also have their one that's the blue one where it feels like you're getting mini microneedling done. Love it. Game changer as well. Another one of their cool products for a face mask is it comes in a box as if it was a tissue box, and they are sheet masks. So smart, genius, vitamin C. I'll pop one on after I do my skincare at night, or if I'm wanting to do it in the morning just to wake up. Love it. And you open it up, pull it out, and you're good to go. Last but certainly not least is this golf dress right here from Fabletics. It was their golf drop that they recently did. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It is so chic. It is so classy. I like how it is stitched to where it just makes you feel nice and snatched. There's this little waist right here just to kind of separate from top and bottom. Collar, really nice. And then the best part is that there are built in shorts, but you can pull the butt part of the short down. So the women, yes, we can use the restroom and we don't have to undress all the way or try to pull the short to the side. You just pull the side of the short down. So the front's still there, like this part, but the back right here, you can pull down. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Those are the products that I'm digging this week. I absolutely realized how much I miss doing the solo episodes, and I'm going to do more of these, I promise. I just love spending time with y'all. That's that.